Hello guys, it's Striker GT here, and I'm a new channel going to be discussing Georgia Tech football because I've been passionate about it for the past 2 years probably. I mean, I was always a Georgia Tech fan. I went to a lot of games when I was a kid, but then I kind of like got away from football for a bit during like late high school years, but more recently I've been really into especially Georgia Tech football, covering it, especially as we head into this new season where we have a lot of good things to look forward to. So I kind of wanted to start a channel about it. And today I'm going to be taking a look at the schedule and trying to figure out what games we will win, what we'll lose. Um, I'll be kind of doing a general discussion on each game. I'll do an actual prediction, but it's more of like the discussing part that's important, compared to like, oh, I'm thinking that we'll 100% win this game or lose that game or something like that. So we have a hard schedule, which will definitely make things interesting. So even if we have a similar record to last year, I think it would be a pretty like fine thing because of just how hard the schedule is. So I'm gonna take a look at the schedule and I'll put it up on the screen. Um, First, we start off obviously with Florida State Seminoles, all the way in Ireland. Um, it's going to be a tough game for both teams, honestly, because it's an early game and all the way out there in Ireland. I'm not as high on Florida State as maybe some other people are. I don't know, like I think they'll be pretty good, but I think they'll get good as the season goes along, and because they have a lot of new stuff, so they might not be functioning at all points, at least early in the season. So I'm hoping that for Georgia Tech's sake, they capitalize on that because Georgia Tech is bringing a lot back, at least on offense. And on defense, we do have a new defensive coordinator, and we'll have some pieces back, some pieces that are new. It was pretty bad last year, but I'm actually do think that we'll win this game just because I don't I think Florida State is not going to be as good as they were last year, and I think this is the perfect week and just everything surrounding it for Georgia to get an upset. But I could easily see this like Florida State winning this. This is a tough game to call. I'm just calling that this is going to be like our major upset win because I'm looking down the other schedule, like down the schedule, seeing like if there's any other games, like because Georgia Tech always gets like some sort of upset. Like a lot of these will be upsets, but like a major upset, I think this is going to be the game that we get, and because other teams, I just don't see us winning. But next we go to Georgia State, or it's at home for us. It's actually a night game, which is interesting. We play Georgia State. I think this is a very big trap game for Georgia Tech. I think we'll win, but this could be really rough, especially going all the way to Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, playing that game, then coming back all the way for one only a 1 week time to prepare for this game, and Georgia State is going to be preparing all summer for this, all fall camp, and they will definitely want to win this game because it's two teams in Atlanta. So we got to play hard. We got to play good. I think that it's a night game actually probably helps us. Maybe the stadium will be better. I don't know. I don't know how that will affect how things play out, but it'll definitely be an interesting game. I think even if the game is rough and it's close, if we can get out with a win, I think that's fine. I don't think we need to like because Georgia State's going to be playing really hard, but I do think we'll take that win. Next, we go to Syracuse. I think Syracuse is going to be a good team like in the coming years because I like the coach and like the different transfers they got. But this year specifically, I don't think they're going to be that great, and I think we will go up there and win. It is in Syracuse, so that's going to be harder. It's not as easy. Like if it was at home, I would definitely say we win, but I do think there's a chance Syracuse will beat us. But I think we'll take care of them. In the coming years, though, I think that Syracuse will be a pretty decent team, but just not this year. Next, we have a VMI, which is it's a FCS team. We should handle them pretty well. I don't see any problems. Then we go to Louisville, and this is where I think we take our first loss. I I think Louisville's going to be a good team, and I think what really pushed me over the edge, especially, is that it's at Louisville. I think their stadium is a pretty underrated stadium. I think their crowd will be good, and if I'm predicting us being 4-0 coming into this, and Louisville maybe being undefeated. I haven't checked their schedule. It could be a ranked matchup. It could be a huge game. I think it'd be fun, but I do think they beat us again, unfortunately. Now, maybe some people might, we lose to Florida State, and then maybe you want to say we win versus Louisville. I could see that, but I do think we lose versus Louisville and we beat Florida State. Though again, I could see Florida State beating us and whatnot. Even if we are 3-1, I think it'll be a huge game to go into Louisville. And again, I'm discussing this as well. Like if we're 3-2, I think this is fine. But we would just have to get another. Like you would have to make sure, like you have to really count those wins in order to make a bowl or even pass that. But 3-2 wouldn't be the worst thing ever. So now we have the first bye week, and we have 3 bye weeks this season because for one we have a week 0 game, which if you have a week 0 game, you always have 2 bye weeks. But for whatever reason this year, every team has 2 bye weeks because of scheduling stuff, just how the years played out. But we'll have a bye week. It's a pretty decent time. Maybe it would have been better before Louisville. I don't know. I think this is a pretty good time for it, though. Then we head into the Duke Blue Devils. I think we'll beat them. In years past, I would say I don't know. They could definitely beat us with Mike Elko, but he's gone, and they have some players went out, and I just don't think that they're going to be as good as they were even the past 2 years with a first year head coach. I just don't see them being that great, and it's at home for us, so I think we'll take care of things there. I don't think we should sleep on these guys though, because they do have some decent talent for Duke levels. I think they'll be a decent team. They're not going to be bottom of the barrel, but I think we'll take care of them. Next, we have North Carolina, automatic win. This is kind of like one of the games we would really want to have under our belt, just because Jeff Collins is at North Carolina as a defensive coordinator. I just don't see North Carolina being better than they were last year. They could be maybe better at defense. I don't know. Jeff Collins, I don't like. He was really so bad at Georgia Tech that I can't take him seriously at all anymore. So I don't think their defense is going to be any better. They've had defensive struggles like North Carolina for the past several years, and nothing has ever changed. And they don't have their Heisman level quarterback anymore. They will probably have a good quarterback, but it's not going to be as good as Drake May in his prime years, So I just don't see them doing it, and we just have their number as well. Like 3 seasons in a row, we've beat them, and even over the past 25 years, we've beaten 18 times, 19 times. I can't remember. I think maybe 17. I don't know. But it's a lot of times we've beaten North Carolina for whatever reason. We just have their number. Next, it would be Notre Dame. I would love to beat Notre Dame, but we're just not. Even it's at Mercedes-Benz, which we kind of cursed. I kind of like going to Mercedes-Benz Georgia Tech games, but we've been cursed. That's not really what is making me say we lose. We lose because I think they're a better team, and I think we just haven't beat them in so long. I would love for us to beat them, but I don't see it happening. Maybe someone else thinks that we do, and maybe we lose some other game. That's a very Georgia Tech thing to do, is to have a big upset but then lose a game we shouldn't or whatever. So, but I think we lose this game, and that puts us at 6-2. But there's not gonna be that much winning left, unfortunately, because just this second half of the schedule is so brutal. From Notre Dame all the way down, it's just a brutal schedule. We go on the road to Virginia Tech, and I think we lose this. I think Virginia Tech is going to be a pretty good team this year because they have a lot of stuff coming back, and it's at Virginia Tech at Blacksburg. Um, so it's going to be a really tough place to play. I think it will be a good game, but I don't think we come out on top. I think we lose that, unfortunately. Um, Maybe we're wrong about Virginia Tech, but I think they're going to be pretty good. So I think they're going to beat us, unfortunately, which puts us at 6-3. Then we have a bye week, which is probably a pretty, like, 2 bye weeks right here is pretty convenient. But even with the bye week, I think we lose to Miami. It is at home. Some crazy stuff is going to happen because it's always crazy between Georgia Tech and Miami. Like whichever game it is, there's something always crazy happens. But I do think they beat us. I think they'll be really talented. I think they'll might contend for the ACC, and I think they will beat us in Bobby Dodd. But again, maybe someone would say maybe we lose to Florida State and we beat Miami or something like that. I don't know, but I think we do lose to Miami. Then another bye week, and I think this is where we get our final win, which is NC State. It's a weeknight at Bobby Dodd, so I think it's going to be a really good atmosphere, and NC State could be ranked, they could not be, they could maybe try to be going towards the ACC title. I don't know. We can't really know for this far in the season, but I do think we get the upset here, and we get that 7th win, which would be one game above last year, but unfortunately we lose to our rivals Georgia, because again, I can't predict against the number 1 team. Unfortunately, I think it will be close again. It might even be closer than last year. I hope it is. I hope we get the win. But I think it maybe 1 or 2 more years before we're really like we could take a win. I think that is coming really soon, though. It could happen this year. I can't predict that it will. I have to see Georgia Tech actually beat Georgia before I predict that. Because I would love that as a Georgia Tech fan, but I have to be reasonable to a certain extent. So I have us going 7-5, which is probably a really good season for how difficult the schedule is. I could easily see us going 6-6 if we lose, if we lose to Florida State. I could see us easily losing to Florida State. We go 6-6. Or you could say 7-5, and maybe we beat Miami or some other team, Louisville, compared to Florida State. I'm just not super high on Florida State personally. So sorry to any Florida State fans, but I think we're beating y'all at in Dublin Island. You have to admit that it's a weird time and place to play a Georgia Tech team that's raring to go, and Florida State still has to figure out some stuff. I do think Georgia Tech still has to figure out some stuff as well, but just not as much, if that makes sense. So I could be wrong about that, but I think this is a decently fine prediction. I could also see us going 5-7, which would really suck. We need to go 6-6. Even if we go 6-6 again, I think that would be fine with this schedule because we'll get to a bowl again and we can build that off of this year, next year. Mainly what I want to see is more consistent play. So even if we go 6-6, I don't want any Bowling Green losses. I don't want any blowouts like with Clemson or any losses where, we just stall out for a whole half like against Louisville last year. Like if we get beat just like normally, but we go 6-6, I think that will be fine. All right, that's my predictions. I might make more videos coming in the future. Y'all could leave comments on maybe what I should do, other things I can do. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.